Let's hear you. Nine, 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 nine. Once more. Nine, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Rabbi.
Shabbat Shalom, Cantor.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Glad you're here. I don't know, do you feel ready? Has Shabbat come for you yet? When I sing on a nigun, I get a little bit more grounded and a lot less frantic. So maybe we could sing it one more time together.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
In a moment, we're going to move into our service formally, and we're going to be on page 24. And hopefully everyone's grabbed one of these prayer books on their way in. If you need large print prayer books, they're available on the right. Hearing-assisted devices are through the office toward the back. Our usher this evening is Lori Hornick, and so if you need anything, you can ask her, and she'll point you in any direction. Bathrooms are outside to the right, though all gender and handicap accessible bathrooms are through the office toward the back. And if you need an emergency exit, there's of course the exit you came in, but notice there's an exit here as well as exits toward the back as well. I want to give a big welcome to our friends from the Way Center from a program
from the JSDD. Welcome everybody.
Yes, from the
and Hagit. We're glad that you're all here.
Yes, and so we are so glad that you're here, and we're so glad for our partnership. We're glad that you could join us for services tonight. And we actually, in only about 7 or so weeks, I think, we have another service where we're going to partner with you as well.
That's right.
And so we're going to move now. We're on page 24 as we join together in the words of Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hasharet, Malachi Elyon, Amir Elech, Malachi Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem Leshalom, Boachem Leshalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon, Amir Elech, Malachi Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Shalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon, Malachi Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, tzeitkhem l'shalom, tzeitkhem l'shalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon, Amir Elech, Malachi Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hasharet, Malachi Elyon, Melech, Malachi Hamlachim, HaKadosh, 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 Baruch Hu, Baruch Hu.
I was looking recently, actually, at the table of sunset and sunrise times over the next few months. And what's funny is that it's not standard how quickly it gets lighter. Right now, we're at a period where every single day we get about 1 minute and 30 seconds. But by the end of the month, we're gaining 2.5 minutes per day. And then in a few months from then, at its peak, we're gaining about 4 to 4.5 minutes every single day. Which means that the fact that it's been Shabbat for weeks, not weeks, it feels like that. It's been Shabbat for hours at this point, is something that will very quickly, before we know it, change. This is the darkest time, and we just finished lighting our Hanukkah candles as a way to bring light into this darkest of time. But one way each week that we defy the darkness is we light our Shabbat candles as a way to kind of cast out for just a moment that darkness and bring in light to our space here. And so to light our candles tonight, I'm going to call Jonah up to be joined with his immediate family, as tomorrow he is called to the bima as a bar mitzvah. We're on page 2 and 3.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us, as their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light. So may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Can you hold this bit?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר של שבת.
O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter this sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love.
Ready? Lift up the Kiddush cup. Yeah, go for it.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uratzon hinehi lanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom tehillah lemikra'ei kodesh zeher l'tziyat Mizraim
Kivanu v'harta v'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu.
Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat.
Amen. L'chaim. Shkoach. Mazal tov.
We're going to move now to page 10. Yedid Nefesh, a special song to welcome in Shabbat before we move into L'chaduti.
Yedid nefesh v'rachamam. Yedid nefesh v'rachamam. Meshochav v'decha el ritzonecha. Meshochav v'decha yarayilay el ritzonecha. Yedid nefesh. We join together again. Yedid nefesh v'rachamam. Yedid nefesh ידיד נפש, ידיד נפש, אברח, ידיד נפש, אברחמן, בשוכבך, אל רצונך, בשוכבך, יא לה 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 אל רצונך.
We move forward now. We're on page 20, L'chadodi.
He
turning to page 28.
Together.
Page 31. Praise you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch ata Adonai, hama'ariv, aravim.
Amen.
Page 32.
אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת. תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו, בשוכבנו ובקומנו, נשיח בחוקיך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך, ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגד יומם יומם ואהבתך לתסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד.
Page 36.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי
ויתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני
אדוני אלוהיכם.
אדוני אלוהיכם אמת אמת.
We're on page 39. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there's a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. Page 40.
You got it? מי כמוך באים אדוני, מי כמוך באים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילתו עושה פלא, נורא תהילתו עושה פלא. מלכותך ראו בניך, וכהים לפני משה ומרים, זה לי אנו ואמרו, זה לי אנו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לאור המועד, אדוני ימלוך לאור המועד. One more time on ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני קהל ישראל.
Page 43. Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai haporei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim.
Amen.
We turn the page, bottom of page 44.
ישמחו
מלכותך, שומרי, שומרי, שומרי שבת וקורא עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי, שומרי, שומרי שבת וקורא עונג שבת. מקדשי שבי שבת, כולם ישבעו ויתענגו בטובך שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי, שומרי, שומרי שבת וקורא עונג, 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 עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי, שומרי, שומרי שבת וקורא עונג, עונג שבת. ואשרי רצית בו וקידשנו שבת, חמדת ימים מותו קראת שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי, שומרי, שומרי שבת וקורא עונג, 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 עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי, שומרי, שומרי שבת וקורא עונג שבת. יזכר למעשה בראשית שבת, יזכר למעשה בראשית שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי, שומרי, שומרי שבת וקורא עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי, שומרי, שומרי שבת page 46, and we continue in silence after this opening meditation through page 62. We rise together.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agit tehilatecha.
So whether you're here in the room or in somewhere out in the YouTubeverse or Zoomiverse, let your prayers keep manifesting, keep flowing as we find our way to a landing together and chant these words, Olam Chesed Yibaneh, the world is built from a source that we are calling Chesed, and that source is planted so deeply within us that we are invited always to remember. Teshuvah is simply to remember we are filled with that compassion and that chesed. The world can easily be built that way. Once we notice we are capable of it. So eyes on the screen if you can see. If not, you can just hear.
Olam chesed yibaneh, yararai, yararai. Olam chesed yibaneh, olam chesed yibaneh, yararai, yararai. Olam chesed, olam chesed yibaneh, yararai, olam chesed yibaneh, 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 yararai, yararai. First we say, I must build. I will build this world from love. I will build this world from love. And you must build. And you must build this world from love. And if we build this world from love,
Each week we add a special prayer for Israel to our prayers. And this prayer, written by rabbinical student Hannah Ellenson, speaks about the many different spokes, the many different complexities of what we're all feeling at this time. Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, our God and God of our ancestors, we ask that you bless the state of Israel and all of Israel's inhabitants. Makor Chaim, source of life, bless and strengthen those who defend the land and ensure their safe and speedy return home. Protect them and guide them. Kadosh Baruch Hu, holy and blessed one, show Israel's leaders your paths so they may act with wisdom, courage, and dedication, and that they may be unwavering in their pursuit of peace. Strengthen their hearts, but keep their hearts from hardening. Adonai Poked, God who remembers. There are more than 100 people currently being held in Gaza, many of whom are thought to be alive, and their time is running out. They include Aviniatan Or, age 30, Daniela Gilboa, 19, Shlomo Manzor, 85, Vipin Joshi, 23, Sasha Trunov, 30, Arabelle Yehud, 28, Hamza Ziadne, 22, and Emily Damari, 27. Matira Surim, freer of captives, return all those who are kidnapped safe and sound to their homes, without the spilling of more innocent blood, without any more souls being tarnished by horrific acts. Baal Harachamim, master of compassion, help us to hold the humanity and the heartache of the Jewish people, of all the residents of the state of Israel, while also holding the humanity, the dignity, and the lives of the Palestinian people. As we are made in your image, remind us of your ways. Spread over us a shelter of peace and fulfill the vision of your prophets. They shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation. They shall never again know war.
We close out this section of prayer not only as communal prayer, but privately as well for those in need of healing. And if you join me on page 253, I'll ask for names in a few moments. You'll also see some names that are up there, and I'll ask you to join with me. Mishaberach avotenu v'imotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, v'Leah, hu yivarech et hacholim. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are ill. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit. And let us say, Amen.
Shabbat shalom. So, for the next few weeks and the previous few weeks, we've been learning about the dreamer of dreams, right? About Joseph and his life, who he was to us and to the Jewish people and to Jewish history. And as we have been learning about him, one thing has come to my mind this year specifically, which is that the whole crux of the story centers around the idea that we remember our dreams, that our dreams matter. Now, in the ancient world, this was something to be understood. In fact, the Talmud has a whole section which is called Seder HaChalamot, the Book of Dreams, which is toward the end of Tractate Brachot in the Talmud, which speak about how it is that we can actually interpret those dreams. In fact, our rabbis say that a dream uninterpreted is like a letter unread. And for our ancestors, having those dreams in front of them were crucially important for understanding the world around them, for seeing prophecy, for seeing meaning. And then when we entered the modern age, they also became important for understanding our psyche, our unconscious, what was really going on. People like Carl Jung took our dreams and built worlds out of them. But then something changed in the modern world. And I don't remember my dreams, and I imagine most of us don't as well. And I want to say that I think the reason that we feel so disconnected from our dreams, unlike our ancestors, is the fact that our morning routine belies the ability to reflect on them. When I wake up in the morning, the very first thing I do is I grab my phone. It is my alarm clock, but it's also crucially important for me to understand whether or not I got emails or alerts overnight, even though I don't need to. I don't pause. I don't take a second upon waking, not to take that thing in my hand and to scroll and to look. And if I'm lucky enough to get up on my own without my family around, I don't take time to think. I take time on my phone. Ultimately, the phone has become the ultimate piece of our morning routine. In fact, according to Jewish tradition, we're supposed to sanctify each moment of our waking up. The first text we say in the morning is, "Blessed are you, God, for the ability to distinguish day from night." That understands whether or not when we first think, our first thought often is it morning yet? And then it's, who opens the eyes of the blind? Recalling the fact that our next thing that we do after we ask that question is that we open our eyes to look. And then we free the captive, we take off our sheets, we lift up the fallen, we sit up, eventually we make firm our steps and we stand and we start walking, and eventually we clothe the naked, which means we put our own clothes on. We sanctify each moment of the morning. I wonder where it would be, "Blessed are you, God, who created Steve Jobs." I don't have a moment in my day where I am idle, because if I did, I would take out my phone and I would distract myself. And learning to be with idleness is one of the key skills that we need to actually feel fulfilled in life. I was reminded when I read Chris Hayes' wonderful op-ed in the Times, if you haven't read it yet today, about the power of idleness. And he reminded me of a study, actually, that I knew once upon a time but had forgotten. That when groups of people were given the option whether to sit for 20 minutes and do nothing or give themselves small electric shocks to entertain themselves, more than 95% of the people decided at some point in that 20-minute period to shock themselves. We cannot sit idle. We cannot sit without that phone. And there's a lot of reasons why. The first, of course, is that we've just lost that muscle. The second might be that we have grown addicted to picking it up. There's, by the way, often I have the experience of picking up a phone and not realizing how I even made the decision to be on Twitter or be on Facebook. I just would find myself 5 minutes later having scrolled and watched whatever videos the algorithm have told me to watch. But yet, it's something that we just do because it's baked into the world around us. But it keeps us from doing two crucial things that we need in order to have fulfilled lives. The first is to gain an appreciation for who we actually are. Think about how much time we spend distracting ourselves to not actually be left alone with our thoughts. I once heard it said that the reason meditation is so hard is that when you actually are allowed to finally shut out the outside world, it's like being trapped with a crazy person and a megaphone in a phone booth. The experience of being alone with our thoughts, with our anxieties, with our fears is incredibly challenging to do. But to learn to do that ultimately means to learn to love ourselves, to find purpose, and to appreciate what actually makes us special, what makes us holy, what makes us created in the image of God. It is incredibly hard to figure out how to do that nowadays, but also incredibly important. In part, because it allows us to fully digest the experiences of life. There's a moment in time that's supposed to be incredibly funny in the Coen brothers movie, A Serious Man, where the protagonist desperately wants to find a little bit of time to talk to the senior rabbi. He's struck out with the assistant rabbi. He's struck out with the associate rabbi. And the old man rabbi is sitting there, and the door gets opened. And he sees them just sitting. And he turns to the rabbi's secretary, and he says, "Why can't I go in?" And the humor line is, the rabbi is thinking. Now, why is that funny? It's funny because we don't, in our day, give ourselves time to just think, to just be. I plow through media. I plow through books. But when have I actually taken the time to truly reflect and to think about what I just learned before I move on to the next one? I am so addicted to doing that I was in a conversation with a friend yesterday who was talking about his Peloton use. And I heard the words come out of my mouth. I stopped paying for Peloton because I couldn't take the class because it bothered me to just do one thing at a time. I couldn't take the Peloton class. I need to be riding and listening to a book. I need to be running and listening to a podcast. I have to be optimizing my life. The thought of even having one thing to fully concentrate on, let alone nothing but my thoughts, feels to me idle, like a waste of time. But that's not the way this world works. And as the Kutzker Rebbe says, where is God whenever you let God in? The only way to do that is to carve out the space. There is wisdom in the idleness of Shabbat. Shabbat itself isn't meant to be a time of doing nothing. It is meant to be a time where you let the world sink in. If you're a practicer of yoga, you know that the most important part of any yoga practice at the very end is Shavasana. When you're lying down and doing absolutely nothing and letting your body appreciate the workout that you just got, the muscles that might be a little bit sore and achy already, the sweat that's just ending, coming, the ability to finally breathe into all of those stretches. We think that nothing in our culture is bad, but nothing in our culture lets us to catch up to the fact that the world moves faster than any of us can take it in. Even the idleness of sleeping does the work because it creates the dreams if only we give ourselves the space to bring it in, to appreciate it, to allow it to inform our lives. I want us to go back to ancient appreciation of being able to just be. There's a difference, by the way, of being alone and being lonely. And sometimes being alone with our thoughts, being alone in the present, not picking up our phone and texting hi to 5 people so that they can occupy us, itself is something that is incredibly important. Rabbi Nachman of Bratslav used to go outside, and he used to just be with God. He used to do a process called hitbodedut, which means to alone yourself, literally. And he would go and he would just talk. And he would pour out his heart, and he would see what was there. He would only find the space to debride the wounds within when he no longer had the things to occupy him that would keep him from doing the hard work that he knew he would do. In this new year, I want to commit to being able to just be a little bit longer. It is a Jewish value because there's so much holiness around us that if we actually paid attention to each and every part of what it means to just live, to stand, to breathe, to be, there is no way we could be bored and need that distraction. Shabbat Shalom. We're going to move to page 282 for Elena.
Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kigoye haratzot, velo samanu kamishvachot adam ha, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamodam, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו, ושמו, ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. Our thoughts now go out to those who we've loved and who we've lost. And as I call the name of your loved one, I'll invite you to rise, honoring their memory. This Shabbat, we recall the following individuals: Marcus Basser, Arnold Block, Robert Allen Boxer, David Brownstein, Benjamin Karchman, Diane Carver Adams, Seymour Cohen, Mary Shapiro Cohen, Anna Doncor, Leo Dodd, Rose Etroff, Rosalind Egan, Irving Epton, Ann Feynman, Nettie Fisher, Ken Fischetti, Stephen Fishman, Samuel Fogelman, Joseph Fruchtman, Lillian Ginsberg, John Greenberg, Horace Guthman, William Hillowitz, Irene Abrams Hodes, Faye Holtzman, Leo Karger, Joseph Kesselman, Anna Koppelman, Judith Kosak, Audrey Lasday, William Leffler, Bert Mertzel, Sarah Morganston, Seymour Noodle, Rosalind Noodle, Timothy Dwight Owens, William Pashman, Phineas Rappaport Rance, Rebecca Resnick, Samuel Rosenthal, Rose Royal, Philip Rubin, Thomas Clifford Sadler Jr., David Schrager, Sam Schrager, Morris Shapiro, Beatrice Slater, Shirley Snyder, Eva Stromfeld, Anna Sweetwood, Loretta Yano Fisher, Yenny Yerkowitz, and Solomon Ziff. and those who are in their Shiva and Shloshim periods of mourning. Alan Hellman, father of Susan Hellman. Louis Wexler, stepfather of Jessica Lycan. David Nathaniel Snyder, father of Stephen Snyder. And Jerry Bubrick, father of Gabby and Maya Bubrick, former husband of Michelle Vago. In addition to that, we also not formally read their name, though we're going to recall the memory of Sally Friedman, who will be laid to rest on Sunday. And we offer our condolences, Amy and Nancy, to your whole family. And if you want to join them for Shiva, it's going to be on Monday and on Tuesday night from 6 o'clock to 9 p.m. at Nancy's house with a minyan each night at 6:30. And so our hearts go out to you, and we offer condolences to your family. In addition, I'll invite anybody who's observing a yard site that may not have been on this list, or someone who is within their one-year period of mourning, to please rise and share the name of your loved one that you're thinking of. We rise together, page 294. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, v'yamad divrach yiroteh v'yamlich malchuteh,
בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב אמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה וברוך
לעולם עולמי עלמיה.
יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתקומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקדושה בריחו, לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעולמה בימו אמן. יהי שלום הרבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, כושבי תבל ואמרו אמן.
Please be seated. So I want to one more time give a big welcome to those members who are still here of the Jewish Services for the Developmentally Disabled, JSDD. We're so glad that you could join us tonight, and you are welcome back anytime. And I know that we will be having you back in around 7 or so weeks from now, when we have a special service for Jewish Disabilities Month. And so welcome, and we are so glad that we are a congregation that you can come to for Shabbat. Tomorrow morning, services are at 10 a.m., where Jonah will be welcomed up to the Bima as Bar Mitzvah. We have Torah study at 8:30 before that.
That's right. Wake Up Shabbat is at 10:30. If you have a tot, come at 10:30.
In addition to that, I want to plug just a few other events. Do you want to talk about
Yes, on
Tuesday?
Tuesday evening at 7:30, we are screening the film I Will Build This World from Love. I saw my pal and filmmaker John Block here, who was created this film with Oliver Mita and Neil Grabowski and a wonderful team. If you haven't gotten to see it, please come. It's at 7:30, and if you have seen it but you want to come and see it again, that's great, and also learn a little bit more about the trip that we're planning for June. So to travel back to Tbilisi. So come on back, please.
And we also, on the 25th, have our Shabbaton. Ronnie?
So the Shabbaton is a day of food for the body, mind, and soul. We start off with Tai Chi and yoga. We have services. We have an amazing lunch that's cooked by chefs in our own congregation, and they'll be providing the food for us the whole time. The afternoon has sessions that are learning sessions, but the total afternoon session, Amy Ginsberg Bickel will be coming, and she's doing a multimedia presentation about her husband, Theodore Bickel, and it's a celebration of his passing of time. And then we will end with Havdalah and make an amazing day.
Wonderful. So I just want to give one more event plug, though there's plenty of other things you can find on our e-blast. On the first weekend of February, we have our big gala. And so if you haven't gotten your tickets yet, we hope you can. It's our one big fundraising event of the year, and I hope that you can join us for that. So we're going to end with Adon Olam. We're on page 321.
Indeed.
אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נשא מחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת עשה וחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא אוהב והוא יהיה בתפארה אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת עשה וחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא והוא אחד ואין שני להג'ילו להכבירה בלי ראשית בלי תכלית ולא העוז והמשרה אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת עשה וחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא והוא אחד ואין שני להג'ילו להחמירה בלי ראשית בלי תכלית ולא העוז והמשרה אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת עשה וחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא והוא אלי וחיו עלי יצור חבלי וצרה והוא ניסי ומנסי מנקסי ביום אקרא אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת עשה וחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא last verse בידו אבקיד רוחי ואת אישה והעירה וברוחי גביעתי אדוני ולא יירא אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת עשה וחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא שבת שלום. Big shake.